Welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and I am so excited about this video. I have some exclusive content, some new updates for this website, swgoh.gg, to go over. The official announcement is going to be very, very soon, and everybody's going to be able to go and play with all these abilities here shortly. But I wanted to go over kind of two parts. First part of this video is going to be the basic functionality of this website, so you know how to navigate, what all it can do, because this is an exceptionally feature-rich website, and kind of a little bit about the website. And then the other part's going to be the exclusive content, the new update that is going to be absolutely game-changing. This is amazing. So the SWGOH website is a one-stop shop for data tools, news, anything about the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes game. The site was actually launched back in February of this year, so it's only been around for about 7 months or so, and they've been feverishly adding new features like characters, missions, gear database, a squad creator. I'll show you that here in a minute. That's pretty awesome. You can do collection sync, which means you can collect all your character data and have it synced up every single day automatically without you having to do anything right to this website, so you can take a look at all of it and see your progress and update, as well as see your arena team progress and your guild information. So this is pretty cool. There's a guild leaderboard, which is kind of an online version of the in-game leaderboard, which is of course complete with profiles of players that have used that collection sync. So this is an opt-in program. I will highly suggest that you opt in, and the guild activity schedule is pretty cool as well. You'll never have to worry about missing another guild activity again, because they have a very easy schedule. Again, I'll show you that. The last thing is the arena meta report. It's very, very cool. You'll hear people on YouTube talking about the meta report, blah, blah, blah. You're going to hear about that today, and you're going to see that today. This is where it comes from. This is absolutely amazing. So let's get started with the first part of this video, basic functionality of this website. Now, I chose to film this video in this portrait, and the reason, portrait instead of landscape, and the reason is I love, this is how you're going to use it while you're on your phone, and I want you to see it how you're going to use it. Now, the first question we get all the time on this website, or they get all the time per se, is can this be downloaded in an app? Is there an app format for this? And the answer is no, and the reason for that is it doesn't need to be. This is a website that is completely optimized for any platform. So tip of the day, this will be Warrior's tip of the day. You can take this website and save it right on your desktop or right on your phone. So when you look at here, you see in the bottom, kind of in the middle, there's an S. That's just the website link, and I saved it so it looks just like an app, but when you click on it, it go ahead and launches the SWGOH website. So this is very cool. Now let's go ahead and get into basic functionality. This is the splash page you'll see when you first launch. There is a search characters that's highlighted automatically in the middle. You can kind of see it's surrounded in blue. What's very cool about this is you can type in a character's info, such as Stormtrooper Han, by typing the whole thing, and it pulls the character up. But what's even cooler is a lot of people use shorthand or abbreviations, especially when they're talking in forums and things like that. So check this out. Lots of people call him Stan, S-T-H-A-N, Stormtrooper Han. That's the abbreviation. And there he is again. And then, of course, pretty much everything in this is interactive. And so what's very cool about that is the moment anything you see, basically anything you see, you can push on it, and there is features and options. So, for example, Stormtrooper Han, if you click right on him, it'll launch his information. Pretty awesome. And it'll have all of his information. We'll go through one of these characters here in a second, but I did want to show you that there's also, to the right of that search feature, there's a filters button. There's both ability classes and categories. Now, I'll show you categories. You can click on ability classes yourself, but on categories, let's say you want to build a first order team. So you come down to first order, you click on it, and it will launch every first order character that's in the game. Now, there is only 5, so it's going to show you the 5 that are classified as first order. This gives you the freedom to be able to try to create teams and be able to have a search feature to find exactly who you want and how you want to do it. Now, of course, every filter system is different. I mean, you can pick from light side, you can pick from, affiliation, you can pick from role or profession, you can pick from species. So this is really, really, really cool. And again, the ability classes will go with like AoE or leadership or evasion. So very cool. You can definitely use the filter system. There's filter systems in pretty much every single aspect of this website, which makes this website extremely feature rich and usable. Now we're just going to go to, everybody knows I love my Admiral Akbar, so we'll just use him as an example. So let's say you're here, it has all the characters listed, and you want to check out Admiral. So you click on him. It's going to go ahead and launch his splash page of all his information. It'll show his base, power, speed, and health, and it will show his alignment, role, and affiliations, as well as ability classes. And then it will go into his abilities. Now, really quick up top, gear, we'll just kind of work our way down. For gear, if you click on it, it will actually show you every single gear level and at what level they need to be to put this on him. And you could even click on the gear to figure out where it's available, which is pretty awesome. And then it'll show gear 2. Now where this comes in really handy is when you're starting to get to the top and you're starting to really gear this guy up, and let's say you want to get him to gear level 8 completed, you're going to need a Mark V droid collar, and you have to be level, if you look to the right underneath the orange, it says 74. So to get this guy through level 8 and to get him basically to gear 9, you're going to have to get him 8 to level 74 to put this droid collar on, and this droid collar, which is a raid gear piece. So this is really helpful. The other thing it has is a stats table. This is for any of the people who love to see how the stats of a character grow. So if you want to see how their special damage or physical damage grows as they go higher, you can scroll to the right and the left. This is kind of a cool feature of the game or of this website. So you can see as they go up in stars what their power strength, their modifiers for agility, strength, or intelligence go up. It is kind of cool to see things like their health, how much more health you get boosted with each star level, or physical damage. So that is there as well. And of course, under abilities, what's very cool about this is it will show the ability. It lists everything this ability will do once it is maxed. Now the question is what happens if I only have it level 3 or 2? Where do I find that information? You simply click on it, and it will tell you at every single level what the increase for that particular ability will be. So you can see that if you omega this at the very end, level 8, and you have to be a level 76 or higher, you can get a plus 15% turn meter gain. But it shows you at which level you get what ability increased or added. Now, why this is important is as you're developing characters, you're developing 3, 4, 5, 10 characters in the game, and you've got some of the Mark III mod material and you want to place it on one of your characters. You have enough for, you have 7 or 8 or 9, and you want to put it on one character, and you've got 4 characters. What you can do is come over to this website and you can see which character is going to benefit the most from that material through this. And sometimes, because in the game, you can't see what it's going to unlock. For example, if I had his basic ability to level 3, it would be the 15% turn meter gain chance, and the 4 will show me all I'll see in the game is if I level it up, I get plus 5 damage. I have no idea in the game that if I do level 4, that the next one that unlocks level 5 is going to be the plus 15% turn meter gain. So this will help you long-term strategize who you're developing and how you develop them. I hope this helps. So, and then of course it has his other abilities and it shows through all of that. The next thing it goes in is the gearing and the credits it takes to gear a character, because all the gear when applied requires credits. So this is very cool. It shows a total of 360,000 credits, which is actually kind of low. There's a lot of characters that are more. It shows the raid gear parts, how many purple, blue, green, or white, and where you can farm is directly below, so that's very cool. It shows you can only get him currently out of the arena. We know obviously out of the chromium packs as well, but aside from that, the actual shard locations, if you're farming, are going to be the arena. It shows primary stats, your offensive stats, defensive stats. By the way, quick tip, people say on mods, What is an offensive mod effect? What is a defensive mod effect? Now, in theory, I don't know how it applies 100%, but basically an offensive mod, if it gives you a boost on offense or a boost on defense, it is supposed to affect positively all of these stats. Or for a defensive mod, it is supposed to positively impact all of these stats. Now, I don't know the exact modifiers they use to apply these positive status effects through the mods, if it's an offensive or a defensive mod, but that is in theory what they're going to apply to. So now that you know kind of how to search for characters or the filter system, and you're clicking through these characters to check them out, the next thing you're going to want to do is click on this little top tab, which has a bunch of cool things inside of it. The first thing we did was characters. The next will be character stats. So we click on character stats. I love this. This is an amazing spreadsheet of sorts that they've created. And of course, you can scroll left or right so you can see everything. And you can literally click on about anything. You could click on the Chewbacca and it launches Chewbacca. So pretty cool. The other thing that is very cool is where it says power. It doesn't look like a button, but it is. If I just push on power, it switches it. Now it's filtered with the lowest to the highest. Or if I click on speed, it's got it from the highest to the lowest. If I click on speed again, it's now the lowest to the highest. Health, again, highest. And you can see the new Rebel Pathfinder is only 74 away from a Royal Guard. Some people knew this, some people did not. So it's one of those things that you definitely want to be able to do some data analysis on the characters you're developing. You know, everybody looks at my in-depth character reviews and has their own opinion, and that is great. I love the feedback, and I love when people get frustrated if I review somebody and say that they're, you know, a Galaxy rating of 3 or 4, and they're like, I use them every day. And it's the reason why I love it is because you've done your homework, you know everything about that character, you know the positives, the negatives, and you've chosen to be sold out for that character, and I love that. I think that is what is so amazing about this game, is you can really develop anyone you want and have fun. Now, with this, you can change. If you look at the top, you see base stats, offensive, defensive, abilities. There's a ton of things you can do. So if you click on, let's say, the offensive, and I'm going to go ahead and click physical damage, you can see Cad Bane has the highest base physical damage stat. Of course, this is all imported from the game. Oh, let's go over here. You could click on potency to see Count Dooku at the top with the highest base potency stat, in Qui-Gon Jinn next. And then I'm not going to go through all these tabs, but gear is awesome. If you click on gear, it's going to show you who, you know, credit-wise, how much does everything cost. You can see who's the most expensive credit-wise. For example, Chewbacca's at the top. What I really like, though, is going over to raid gear pieces. So where it says raid, if you click on it, it shows you the worst characters to gear based on the raid gear parts, and you can see how much they cost and at what tier they go to. So you can see that Newt, he is 6 raid. Ugnaught, he's 6 raid gear pieces. Boba Fett is 6 raid gear pieces. That's a lot. Han Solo's a lot. Cody's a lot. But if you were to click it again, it shows you who's the easiest. So you can see Darth Vader's only got 1. That's pretty cool. Captain Phasma, this is what makes her an amazing leader. Not only is she one of the top 5 leaders in the entire game, but she's extremely easy to level up, and that is awesome. So this tier system, or this character stats section, is really, really fun. You can go in here and you can click on any of these. The next one, under characters, character navigation, is going to be abilities. What's really fun about abilities, again, is under character navigation, there's top abilities, so you can look through and see who's got the best abilities. And obviously, most people know that Rey, in and of herself, she hits for the highest, and that ability is called leverage, and so it shows these top abilities. Again, as in every part of this, if I was to click on this, it takes me right to Rey. So if I go back and I click on the filter system, it'll show me all these different abilities that I can go ahead and click through. So let's say I want to see the AoE information. It now shows me for base stat damage which AoE does the most damage. This is not going to take into effect mods or anything. This is all imported base stat damage. But you can see that Darth Maul has Whirling Blades, which is the highest rated AoE for damage. And then, of course, you've got EMP grenade. And again, everything's clickable. You can literally click on these pictures to your left and you can get to that. So after you go through abilities, if you look at the bottom, there's two little hyperlinks. One says ability damage. The other says Omega upgrades. So the ability damage is what we were just in. If you click on the Omega upgrades, this is very cool. You can see what the Omegas, the gold pieces that you got to get 3 to 5 of for each ability, when you apply it to a character's max ability, it makes it even higher. It truly maxes out their ability. And so these Omega upgrades show you what are they going to get. Well, if you're like me and you don't have that many Omega pieces, you're literally getting 5 and spending them, and you just can't hoard them. Some people do hoard them, but if you can't hoard them and you just want to know how to plan out your spending of these Omega abilities, this is awesome because you can really see, I use, for example, B2. Mow down is awesome, and there is, if I Omega it, a cooldown reduction of 1. That is really cool. The other thing is he does not hit for very much. So Omegaing his basic ability gives him plus 15 damage. So if I'm going to plan how I'm using Omega material, this is a great place to come. Now, like I said, this is your all-in-one stop shop for everything Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This is where you're going to strategize. It's pretty amazing. The next section I'm going to go over is the meta report. So if we click on this, they take all the data from all the different people who have synced theirs. And of course, you can see in blue where it says sync yours today. If you click on that, it will give you an opportunity to log in and to register. And I am going to go over logging in and registering here on the second part when I go over all of the new updates and features that this website now has. So on the meta report, when you click on it, it'll go through. There are tabs. You can see rank 1 through 10, or rank 1 through 100. You can see how the character lists below. These are leaders, and then it goes into all the leaders and then characters and all the characters. Now, let's just assume you go from, it's currently defaulted to rank 1. You can see Lando's the number 1 guy. Rex is the number 2 guy. How about we switch it to rank 1 through 100? Emperor Palpatine is number 1. Captain Phasma is now number 2. And Lando, who was number 1, has dropped to number 3. And Rex is way further down the line. And that is because you're taking a wider swath of data from more characters, and you can really get a better understanding of who is using what. Now, this is going to be important for a lot of people. Say, well, who cares what the top 100 are doing? I want to know what the top character's doing in the game. Well, I will tell you, if you're free to play, you need to understand that certain characters are just hard to get. For example, Rex. If you were to look at this and just default to rank 1, you would see that Rex is the number 2 leader. Now, I can click on the black and it pops out Rex's info, and I can move his little box to get it out of the way. And you can see 101 of these people are using Rex. That's huge. Now, you may get the wrong impression and think, I have to have Rex, but I'm free to play and I can't get to him. You do not have to have Rex, and there are many people in the top 100 who are utilizing other leaders, such as Captain Phasma. But if you look, Captain Phasma is this super tiny little sliver for the top 1 leaders. And so she may seem unappealing when you look at here. So keep in mind when you're going through these to use this rank 1 through 10, rank 1 through 100 to really get a big picture of what's going on in the game. The other thing to note is this metadata literally changes potentially every day. I mean, it is, it's being synced automatically, it's being upgraded or updated each and every day. And so as the meta changes, or as the people change their teams, this is going to change. So the meta is always shifting. And then it shows the characters and the percentage by which how many people actually use that character. And then it goes to characters. Now, characters are going to be for, all the characters in the game, the top characters being used in Arena for the squad members. And you can see a lot of them are leaders because, of course, the leader has to be in the team. But you'll see other characters who are not being used as leaders that are in here. So that's pretty cool. For example, Biggs Darklighter is not a leader, but he's in this particular list. So there's a good example. Or Royal Guard. And he's still a very awesome tank and still used which is very cool. But you can see how the breakout is of who's using which character, and it really goes down into detail. Now, this is going to tell you who are some of the best characters to farm, because you can see who everybody is using. Now, if you want to dig a wider swath, again, this is where you're going to go rank 1 through 100, and then you can scroll back down to see how it impacts the top characters. And you can see Geonosian Soldier still on there, IG-88's on there, Rey is still a part of the meta, and Qui-Gon Jinn and Royal Guard are part of the meta. So the old meta of Qui-Gon Jinn, Rey, and Royal Guard, which everybody thought was gone because of the AoE meta, is wrong. That's not true. The AoE meta is a new meta that's in the teams that are way more further advanced. But the overall big picture of this game, top 10 squad members through the top 100 in every single shard is still using the old meta of Qui-Gon, Rey, and Royal Guard combo. So you can really get a big picture. This is why I said use the filter systems. This is very cool. Now, after the meta report is PvE characters. Again, if you click on it, it does give you a note that anything from this list can or will change. That's because they pull all this data and it is only as good as what's being provided from the game, and things can always change. So take all this with a grain of salt, but it does have a search characters function. So for example, you say, I heard R2-D2 was coming out. So you click on the search, you put R2, and look it right there. There's R2. You can click on him and they're going to give you whatever abilities they have listed for him. Now, again, not much is known at all for him, but you can see R2-D2 is in here. And you can look through and you can see, you know, the AAT, the cannons, there's a bunch of stuff. Now, there are other characters that you can get to, such as, you know, Admiral Akbar or whatnot, but there's a lot that you haven't seen. This is just fun to get the stats and data from all of the characters that you're going to run into on these light side, dark side, and cantina battles. So it's pretty fun because you can really get to see information. And if you want to do some data mining yourself for the new raid, you could go and look at, let's say, B2 Rocket Trooper and take a look at him and see what that's all about. So this is very cool. Just keep in mind that this stuff is constantly ever evolving. So to take everything you read in this section with a grain of salt. So after you've done your character set, your character stats, abilities, the meta report or PvE, you can click on this top right menu. It's got 3 lines with a blue box around it. Click on that. And the section we were in was the top left characters section. The very next one's called database. Now, what's cool about this is a whole nother section of this website. It's like an onion. There's so many layers to this website. It's amazing, but it's extremely interactive and easy to use. So once you click that, again, there's another search function. Let's say you're looking for furnaces. I just put in Fern because you don't have to type the whole thing. And it shows the Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4, Mark 5. And again, if you click on the gear, it'll actually take you into the gear, where to find it, to farm for it, so on and so forth. The data, which, for example, if you click on this Mark 5, it shows you the information, the stats on what it adds to a character, the materials that it takes to actually build it. And what's cool is it also shows how many times it's going to be used with characters in the game. So you can see at what level they're going to need these abilities or these furnaces. So that's pretty cool. So the gear is in here, and I really like it just because it goes through and it explains what you're going to build for each piece of gear, where you can farm for it. And so a lot of people want to know about the gear. The next one is raids. The first one it's going to show for raids is the pit. Again, this is the only one that's currently available. And so I would highly recommend that you check in here. It'll have the new raid when the raid drops. Shard shipments is really fun. If you're going to farm out of all 5 of the stores in the game and you want to do this by creating a strategic list, this is a great place to come to see who all you can farm out of everything, and it's all in one fell swoop. You can come here, see everybody that's farmable in every single store, and you can make up your strategic list of who you're going to farm out of where. So that's pretty cool. The next is events. This is going to have all the different events, and if you click on the event, for example, I'm going to click on Yoda's face, it is going to go ahead and launch that information on that. So it says Grandmaster's Training, and it shows you all the tiers and all the rewards. Now for him, the rewards are guaranteed if you beat that tier, but on others, it's going to show you possible rewards, and it'll show you what are all the possibilities of the rewards that you might get. After events, it has light, dark side battles, cantina battles. I'm not going to go through all of those, but you can click on them and it will show all the different battles and what the possibility is. And then the bottom, like for example, mod battles, it will show your possibilities if you spend 10 energy, what you could potentially win or earn for that. So that's pretty awesome. And then after database navigation, you see all these different ones we just went over. You can go into guilds, which is cool. It'll show the current leaderboard, which is updated. And then below that, you can go to guild activities. Now, I absolutely love guild activities because it automatically default pushes to the top what you should be doing each and every day. So for example, today it says before the reset tonight, you should be spending your normal energy on dark side battles. And it tells you you should save your arena battles if you can and save cantina energy. And then after the reset, it's telling you to complete the arena battles and to continue saving cantina energy for the next day. So this is very cool. It does actually have a calendar of all of the information of every single week down below. So that is very cool. You can kind of game plan and figure out what you're going to do. So I love that. And that was in guilds and then guild activities. So let's go ahead and go into squads. Squad has different squads that people have built, and this is very fun. They can build a squad and then you can see it by clicking on it, and it will take you into all the different characters, and so you can see what they used. It also has a squad turntable based on their base stats, so you can see the faster characters, how often they'll go, the slower characters, how often they'll go. So this is very, very cool. I love this. Now, the other thing that this has is called a squad builder. You can go ahead and build your own squad. So you can put in anybody and everybody that you would like, and then you can hit that green Save Squad button, and it will forever be in here for you to refer to or for anybody else to refer to. So very, very cool. The bottom one says News, so we're going to click on that. I told you this is a one-stop shop. It truly and genuinely is. It has all of the updates imported so you can see what is going on with fixes and updates, you know, like this mega thread update. But what's even cooler is they have Reddit and EA forums with an external link. You click on it and it instantly takes you to Reddit. Or if you click on it and go to EA forums, it'll instantly take you to the EA forums. So very, very cool. I love this format. It's very awesome. But if you just go to news, it's going to show you the basics of what you need. You don't have to go everywhere. This is the website you go to find everything you need. Now, the last thing is going to be on this section will be sync. To synchronize, it shows you first the collection leaderboard. It shows you who is the leader in the score. So the score is basically calculated up of, who has the most of everything. And the score is developed by their level, their star level, their gear tier, all of that. Quick shout out, there are at least 4, maybe 5 Team Instinct people in the top 10. So props to my team for making a bunch of the top 10. That's pretty awesome. But it gives you a leadership board. If you go to Collection Sync, what's cool about this is it tells you how to sync up your information. Now, this is a perfect way to track your collection, show off all your characters, and manage your guild roster. This safely synchronizes your data to the servers each and every night. So I'm going to show you how it does that. You can manually sync, or you can allow it to just auto sync, which it does on its own automatically. And of course, you can sync in all this stuff, the guild listings, the mission wins, arena. So the bottom, it says how to sync. It says create an account or log in, and then you view your settings page, you put your stuff in there, and then you can enjoy your collection. So I'm going to go ahead and click on create an account. It shows that I have an account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on log in. Now, this is the second part of this video, and I'm about to go over all of the exclusive content and the announcement that is the new features. Pretty amazing. When you click on this, first, the bottom you see, it says My Profiles and Squad. So when you click on that, it's going to show you your arena rank, your level, your basic information, your ally code, and then it has some tabs below like your profile, your characters, mods, gear needed, and settings. So this is pretty cool. First, go into settings, and of course, you have your ally code. You want to set your account time zone. Whatever you set it to, that is going to be when it auto syncs the data. It says data is synced at 6 p.m. In the selected time zone. So whatever time zone you pick, that's going to be the time zone that it syncs in. You can enable this collection sync right below. You put in your player ID from the game. You can change your profile from public to unlisted or vice versa. I change mine often. And then you can click the bottom green button that says update profile, and it will update all of this information. Of course, you can come down from here and you can go to characters after you do profile. And this is very cool. It shows all of my characters. And if you click on a particular character, it will take you into the character splash page, which shows you all of your current gearing of that character, the ability classes, the mods that you currently have on this character. And there's a drop down that says combined stats. If you click on that, it does show all the stats that were added through the mods that you added. Below, it'll show the level at which you have their skills at. So you can see I have the first 3 at level 7, but I have not omega'd those 3 abilities. And then, of course, I have his Righteous Fury maxed. And then you can see below all of his stats, and you can see what is boosted through these mods with this information, or with the highlight. You can see everything that's highlighted as to what it is. So this is very cool. If I go back, you can see all my abilities. I can click on the show mods, which will just default show the mods that I have on these characters. So I can get a splash page. I can also click on the filters, and I could go through the ability classes or categories. Again, for example, I want to see all my Geonosian species. If I click on that, it shows all of mine and where they're at star-wise, level-wise. You can click on them directly to see anything else. So this is very cool. And then under this user navigation, there is the gear needed, which is very cool. Gear needed is pretty awesome because it will tell you for every character level 60 and above, what you need and where it's going to go. So for example, I'm going to go down to this Fusion Furnace. If I click on the Fusion Furnace, it shows everybody that I own where they need this furnace. Now, you'll notice there's a green dot next to some of these characters, and there's not for these other characters. So with the green dot, you'll notice Stormtrooper, or not Stormtrooper Han, just Han Solo, on the very top middle, blue, and the very bottom right, kind of with a green dot. What that means is that he needs a furnace to complete Gear 8, and he needs a furnace at Gear 9, and so I have to get him a furnace for Gear 8 to get him to Gear 9, and the green dot is signifying he actively needs that piece of gear right now. So that is pretty awesome. It also shows future that he's going to need one for the Gear 9 and one for Gear 10. You can see him in that list. So now I know I need 3 furnaces alone for Han Solo. That is crazy, but that isn't good to know. But that's where the filtering systems go into place, clicking on the mods as well. So pretty cool. Again, under user navigation, you've got gear needed, characters, profile. Now, this is brand new. This is exclusive, and this is an absolutely brand new update. Click on mods and it takes you to your mods. This is every mod that you've ever had that's been updated automatically. Now, if there are any mods in your database that you want in this that you have not put on a character, since this has gone live, and that'll be soon, you will want to make sure that you go on to all of your best mods, put them on the characters. You can do a manual sync or just let it auto sync throughout the day when it syncs at your time zone. And then once you have these mods showing up in this database, they're always going to be in here unless you take them out. So this is very, very cool. It shows I currently have 372 in my database. Now, I have some friends who play this game and they're very serious about it. They're dead serious about it, and they literally keep their own database of their mods, and it's this huge spreadsheet, and it takes them hours, and it took them like 9 hours to put all their mods in. That is absolutely nuts. I love the game, but not that much. And this is going to do all of that for you very simplistically. So all you got to do is make sure you have mods on your characters. It'll auto sync, or you can manually sync this data. What I did, because I wanted my mods all in here, I went and added mods to every single character, uploaded a manual sync, and then I went ahead and took them off, went back into the game and took them off the characters that I didn't want. That way I'd have a complete listing of all the mods that I own. So in this, it shows all the different mods. This is absolutely brand new. Now you can click on the share button, which is very cool. You can now share this direct link. It'll put it on a clipboard, and you can share this with anybody. And there is a filter system. Now this is where under mods. Oh, and by the way, you can click on mods through this link on the user navigation, or where it says on the bottom right, it says My Mods. So if you click on My Mods, you can see this. Now, the filter system is where this gets literally amazing and insane. Here's your filter system. This is absolutely insane. So now you can literally pick the slot or slots, the set or sets, the primary stat or stats, and the secondary stat or stats that you desire for your character, and you can find that mod and who it's on. So this is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and go. We want a receiver primary stat of speed, and I want it to be critical chance or critical damage, and I want a secondary stat of either speed or critical chance. We apply the filters. It tells me I have nothing with this many options. So let's go back and let's shorten out my search. Let's do the arrow with a primary of speed with critical damage or critical chance and apply that filter. And it shows I only have 2. So I've got a critical damage and a critical chance mod with speed. I have a 2 dot that has 19 speed, and I have a critical damage 5 dot that has 30 speed. So you can see that both of them have health and protection. So I'm going to show you something else which is pretty cool. I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit the filter, and I'm going to do the same thing I just did, but I'm going to say, let's say I was looking for health and protection and a primary stat of speed with the arrow. When you click on apply filter, it finds them. Now look, it's highlighted the secondary stats that you requested, so it shows you the bold speed that you were looking for, as well as the health and protection secondaries that you were looking for. Now, the little circle with the line through it means that it's not currently on a character. This may in fact be an old mod that I no longer want to use, and so for that I can simply click on this little circle and it says not equipped, and I can actually click on that and delete this particular mod right from this database, so that way I do not have to keep it in my database. So it's, if you don't want it any longer in here because you're no longer using it, which both of these I'll probably at some point stick on a character, you can just click on that little circle with the line through it and it will get rid of it. So that is pretty awesome as well. So this filter system changes the game. It's brand new. This is cutting edge. This gives you the ability to have all of your mods in one spot. You can really start to craft characters. For example, I know that I have my Wedge and Biggs. I really want to do the critical damage and critical chance mods, and I really want the primary stat to be critical chance or critical damage, and I want a secondary speed stat. If I apply the filters, it's going to show me everything I have that falls within that category. Now, example, I've got some critical chance mods and some critical damage mods here, and I have them with a primary stat of critical damage or critical chance, and you see it highlighted the speed. Now, I want to show you one other really cool feature. Let's say I only want it to show me anything that has a secondary speed of 4 or more. So you click on value range, you click on this, you click 4, you come over here and you put, let's say 20. Now it is going to filter through and only show me the ones with a secondary of 4 speed or higher. So the one that was at the bottom that had a lower speed is gone. It now shows me this. So this is absolutely game changing. You can completely character craft within this website, and I just think this is an absolutely amazing feature that they've added. Again, I tell you all the time that you saw it and heard it first here on my site, but this is not possible without the guys. There's a few guys that are working at the SWGOH website, completely voluntary, and they're doing this for the benefit of the gamers who are out there who are trying to access all the data in the game. So they do this at the very bottom. You'll notice on the bottom right, it does say support us. If you click on that link, it'll give you an opportunity to donate through Patreon to them. The money that's going into Patreon, and they're asking for like $5 a month. You can see there's only a few people giving it, but this is definitely, if you love the game and you find this tool, the SWGOH website, helpful, please help these guys out and click the support us button, because it's not possible without their volunteerism and the time and energy and effort they're putting into this. So let me know at the bottom in the comment section what you think of this new exclusive content, this new feature, this new mods feature set where you can go in and you can completely customize and change and filter through all of your mods that you have. Let me know what the favorite part of this new feature is. And as always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.